Good morning, everyone. Boy, that coffee pot's having a hard time getting started. Thank you for having a cup of coffee with me this morning. And yeah, it doesn't want to go. Let's see here. Let me try it again. I think I might end up with a really strong cup of coffee. This is my second cup, and I'm kind of needing it to be strong, so I hope so. And so anyway, welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. And I will tell you, this morning we have frigid, cold temperatures again. It is going up into the teens, so that's really good. And when it's in the teens, it makes a huge difference than when it's sub-zero. So if you're new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And it's our way to give the earth a little hug. Even our yarn, if we can get this at the thrift shop instead of having to go buy brand new yarn, we do that and just kind of search for it. Now this morning I have one of my shawls on because you know, when it's cold day after day, you really do start to feel it. So this shawl would typically go down the back, and it feels good really bunched up near my neck this morning. So I'm just going to leave it on. And this morning, and for those of you coming back, by the way, also thank you so much for coming back. So, you know, I think what's happened, and we've kind of gotten in a little routine where we do talk a little bit before we begin. And I just want to share with you the history, a little bit more history about crochet. Not a heck of a lot, because I'm not going to do the whole video on that. But I want to share with you some information I ran into this morning. I was reading, and it's really super interesting. So I'm just clearing this a little bit. The other thing, as you know, I am working on some pieces for my class. And something I want to share with you crocheters and knitters, because I know I have knitters out there too. And so what I'm going to be sharing with my class is a technique called, well, shibori. But shibori, there's many different ways to do shibori, and I'll be explaining that to them, what the differences are. But for you knitters and crocheters, if you make a piece, you can also do, you can do shibori. Now, one of the very ancient ways of doing a shibori effect is, I'm just showing you this. See how odd that looks? These are shells, and you can use rocks. These are, I'm going to show you in a minute, because we're going to do a reveal together. I didn't put it in the description, but what I did, this has been drying overnight. It didn't really need to stay that long, but it's a good idea, because especially natural fibers have memory. So when you do something like this, you're making an effect. You hope that it's you're looking for it to do is to keep its memory. So this is what we did here. Okay, so I tied the shell in, and when we have the class, I'll be talking to them a little bit more in detail on this. But this morning, I just want to share this with you quickly. So this is a reveal. I'm going to take the shell out. Whoops, so sorry. And, okay, which one did we take the shell out? Here. So you see how the fabric holds the shape right there? That's a shibori effect. So I'm just taking them all out this morning. And thank you so much for having a cup of coffee with me. Wait till you hear some of the history I found. Now, I know for a fact that crochet items go way back farther than 17, 1800s. In America, you were finding them in the 1700s. Wait till you see how far back they go. So this is another one. So what's the point of the shibori? It's a design. You will see many shibori scarves. Sometimes they're kind of in a little rippling effect, and like where the material is gathered. Okay, this is just a piece. This is just a sample, and I'm going to have some other samples for the class, but I wanted to share this with you. If you're a knitter or crocheter and you have knitted or crocheted something in 100% wool or cotton, you can do this. You cannot do this with acrylic. It's not going to work. But you see, you're like, well, that doesn't look like anything. But this is just a sample. If you take this, let's say you were making a scarf out of this and you wanted the whole scarf to be kind of, you know, the textured shibori effect, that would be lovely right there. So I wanted to share that first of all this morning, give you some ideas. And this is 100% wool. That's why it worked so beautifully. So those, because this is 100% wool, this impression, this texture now will stay that way. Okay, so that's just something to share with you. And that's just a tidbit. And okay, so just really quickly here for those of you who are, so by the way, while I'm reading this, just to let you know, get your yarn. Okay, I've got a cotton yarn that I'm using. It's kind of a little textured. It's medium heavyweight. And get your Tunesian crochet. Okay, so let me just read this, to you. Ancient crochet roots. And then I'm going to show you some ancient. Now we're not talking Tunisian, right? Oh, who is that there? Hi, Huggly Wuggly. How are you this morning? And Crystal. Hi, guys. How are you? Yeah, if you don't have a crochet, I didn't see the text there, but it disappears quickly on me. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that, but sometimes it's better to let it. That's fine. Of course you can watch. And I do that a lot too. I kind of just see how something's made first. But this ancient crochet roots, this is AI, often tied to tambourine. So tambour in French means drum. So, and this is saying in parentheses, hook, needle, embroidery. Tambourine, hook, needle, embroidery, that's what it's saying. Developed independently across cultures, with early precursors appearing in China, Persia, India, and North Africa. And they're not adding Europe, you know. Italy and France, I'm pretty sure, because Northern Africa and Sicily and are very close, especially in the arts. Thank you so much. Okay, so before reaching Europe in the 1700s, now key historical forms include the 19th century Irish lace called shepherd's knitting, and Egyptian, Middle Eastern, and South American textile traditions. Now listen to this though, guys. Yeah, I am too. I'm from the I'm here too, guys. But this is very interesting. Asia, so China and Persia, early embroidery or tambourine used hooks. So they used the hooks to create intricate designs on fabric with roots stretching, get this, back to 550 BC in Persia. In China, early crochet dolls, let's see if we can get an image of them, dated back to the Shang Dynasty, and I want to share something with you about them too, 1600 to 1046 BCE. It's not 1600. 1600 BCE, okay? I'm just saying the ancient crafts. People always, I know, right? And check this out. So Europe, they're saying Europe though, evolved frame-based embroidery to crochet in the air, whatever that means, without background fabric. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, right, crochet was used on a base. Now, let me tell you, that's what I was going to say. When they're talking about Shang Dynasty, what is so interesting about the Shang Dynasty is they have pieces, technically quilted because they have 3 layers of needle felted pieces. Needle felted quilts, 5,000 years old. I'm not kidding you. Now, if people are worried that today we're creating, like with recycled fabrics, that seriously, these recycled fabrics, these synthetics, acrylics, polyesters, they don't even break down for hundreds of years. So, and when you buy something in the synthetic industry, fast fashion today, they make it so thin that in 3 months after washing it, you're feeling the nanoplastics because that's what's in them. These pieces, in my opinion, are actually very good pieces to use, to recycle, keep them out of the landfill, and use them today to make pieces, whatever we're making, crocheted. You can cut them into thin pieces of fabric and crochet, and we're going to be doing that come spring because I want to make more of my crochet baskets. So anyway, South America, some historians trace early crochet-like items in South America to, it doesn't give us a date. And Mexico, it doesn't give us a date. Okay, so, but isn't that very interesting? So to just recap, Asia goes back to crocheted items, crocheted dolls. Let's see if we can find some pictures of these dolls. And thank you for having coffee with me. I hope you're having a hot coffee this morning, because I'll tell you something, it is, okay, let me put it this way. When it's cold for a day here in Vermont, yes, the 1700s, exactly. So that's a very good point, Wobbly. In the 1700s, 1776, 1800, you start to see these in America. They were actually, these techniques, and I talk about this in my book, they were actually brought over here on the Great Immigration when people were coming over here from other countries, which makes up America, is the diversity of people from other countries. Ireland, England, Europe, Africa, people were coming over here. And so, and in Asia, the Asians were coming over here. Actually, the Asians showed their techniques of boro, as you know we do on this channel, boro sashiko, at the Great Expedition in early 1800s. And then later in the 1800s, they showed them again. And at that time, 9 million Americans, they were immigrants in America, but they were 9 million people went to the expedition to see the Asian Boro Sashiko work. So, okay, that's just something I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to put this to the side now. Put that over here. And we're going to close that up, guys. Oh, no, we're going to get pictures. Sorry, I forgot what I was just looking at your comment there. And it made me forget. Hold on. Let's get some pictures of the ancient crochet in other countries. Okay, now let's get some images. Wait till you see these. And okay, so crochet was done largely on a base first. That's what they're trying to say. Okay. So check this out. Because it was a needle and a hook. And we're going to explore that ancient method soon on this channel. Because it's very interesting. Discover gold. Oh yes. No, I'm not laughing at that. I just didn't expect to see that. Discover gold. Okay. So check this out. Check out some of the crochet on a base. Let's see if I can get this over here. This is on a base. This is a hat. I'm gonna make these images larger in a minute. These are the Asian two-toed slippers, shoes. This is an ancient. I would love to make these. I understand that these are super comfy. Let's take a closer look at these. Have you guys ever had these? There's a certain name for those. Here's someone, look, this is some ancient crochet lace. Crochet, that's ancient. She's showing the ancient method of pattern that she's using. Let's see here where the shoes are, though. Here they are. Oh my God. Wait till you... I didn't expect to really go down this rabbit hole, but... Are you just talking about me, honey? Are you talking about me? Thank you if you are. Okay, so I came across accounts of Noel binding, N-O-A-L binding, a technique in which a bone needle, check that out. How ancient can you get? A bone needle is used to pull yarn through loops. Wound around the thumb, the fabric produced looks similar to Tunesian. I thought it did. Okay, I have heard of this. Noel binding or single needle knitting is ancient. Hats, shawls made use this technique in Peru. Guess how far back it dates? It's called Noal binding. It dates, go ahead and ask if it's not personal, I'll answer, yes. It dates back to 300 BC. And there's also, it was also used by Coptic Christians in Egypt, which there's still, I believe, the Coptic Church. Yeah, I'm really not a historian, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be able to answer you on like a really good expert answer. But I do like to look up the history of our fabrics. So the Noal, N-O-A-L binding was used by Coptic Christians in Egypt in the 4th century AD. an invented Coptic stitch, which looks amazingly like knitting. Check this out, guys. Wait till you see this. Look at these. Do these look odd? Okay. So this is NOAL binding. And so very, very interesting. I just wanted to share that with you. Let's see if we can get some other images of, let's get a close-up of this one. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is probably, this looks like my work. This is why I like to do the ancient, and I guess I like to use the word primitive kind of vibe, but people don't, there's this big discussion on the primitive, on me using the word primitive, and but let's take a look at this hat. Wait till you see. Let's get a close-up of this hat. If they're going to give it to us. Here it is. Check this out. Like, I love this. You can almost see, you know the straw hats that they made way back, like pointy in like Asia? Check this out. This is an ancient, can you see it? An ancient method of crocheting a hat. So let's just read a tiny little bit about this and then start our project. Okay, the tool, so they use, oh my God, this is so interesting. So this person is talking about, and spells it differently. She doesn't spell it N-O-A-L. She spells it N-A-L, binding, binding. That's how I've known it. Now, binding is much older than crochet or knitting. Okay, guys? The oldest known piece dates back to, are you ready? 6500 BC. That's 6500 BC. And it was found in the Nahal Himmer cave. The now binding differs from traditional crochet. According to Interweave, the creator makes a loop with thread or yarn and pulls another loop through it. This technique uses lengths of string. Okay. The tool used in a small hook with an eye made of bone, wood, and animal horn. The hooks were flat and the sharp points and widening handles. So anyway, this is super interesting. And that is by littlejohnsyarn.com if you want to read the rest of the article. Okay, so now with that said, what I'm working on is a piece that I want to create for my class and going forward to make other pieces and kind of build on my own aesthetic technique and signature. So with that said, what I'm doing is first, I had a couple of thoughts here. I was thinking of first just crocheting with this crochet hook, this size, because it's going to be, so I'm going to explain to you. This is to begin your Tunisian crochet. It's easier to, I'm just going to bring you through this to like a good part of this. So you don't have to be crocheting, but we'll just talk as we go along about this technique. Okay, so I am not counting because I want to make a wall piece that I think I would like to be able to put on this beautiful natural stick that I scraped down and washed some time ago. So come on with me on the crochet journey. So this is, let me see, I'm looking for my, yeah. Let me get the tape because I'll just share with you about how long it is. And we'll go that route. And guys, I'm going to have to heat my coffee up in a minute. So I almost drove to the cafe to do this particular video. Okay, so yeah, this is a good size. Now, crochet stretches a little, but I want to be able to kind of squish it up a little bit on this. Now, and if I'm not happy with that, I'll just get a longer stick. So this is measuring. Now, okay, so I'm just going to explain to some of you who don't know what we're doing this morning. So the chat is pretty much over. It's over. We just wanted to look at the history a little bit of crochet. So I'm going to actually close that. So I want to make a piece that is Tunisian crochet, but then I want to go into my treble. And I wanted to pretty much the aesthetic, I want it to be looking like it's not, it's like drop stitch. You know what drop stitch is? Drop stitch is exactly, oh, thank you. Drop stitch is exactly what it sounds like. It's like you dropped a stitch. What are you doing? It looks like, okay, you're going along and then there's a big hole. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm glad someone thinks so. Okay, so I just saw the comment, oh, you're awesome, and I just dropped everything. Okay, so this particular chain is about 7 inches. Okay, and it's gonna give a little stretch. It's gonna bring it to about 8. Okay, 8. So, that's fine. And this little stick that I'm looking at here, or dowel, this is going to be our dowel. So this is almost about 10. Okay, so that's good. That's a good size. So I am not beginning with my Tunisian hook. I'm beginning with just a regular hook. Okay? And I just made it, like, as you know, about 8 inches. So I'm going to come in about 1/8 of an inch or one stitch. And I'm simply making a single crochet, going across. I'm going to do a couple of rows of the single crochet. That's all I'm doing first. And the reason I'm doing that, and I'm even thinking of a drop stitch here. But a drop stitch here would be more like a couple of chains and kind of like skipping, really. You can make that effect too. You can make a drop stitch effect. You don't have to do a drop stitch. And I guess maybe that's what I'm thinking. But I also am starting out even. And I want it to be even for a little bit. And then I want it to just kind of give the effect that it's on an angle, go on an angle, and not in a neat way, not like I am doing a very neat triangle or a neat slope. I want it to be a sloppy slope. We're going down a sloppy slope, guys, so hang on. A slippery slope. But I want it to be a sloppy slope, because that's how I want the effect. That's what I want. Okay, so I'm at the end here. I'm going to chain 1. And I'm turning. I want to do one more row. And I'm going to just work right now, or maybe a couple of rows of this, but I'm going to work in the back stitch. The thing I'm trying to do before I start my Tunisian crochet is I want a nice hefty little base. I'm working in my back stitch. And so you're like, well, what the heck does that mean? So when you work in the back stitch of each of your stitches, you're creating like a little ridge effect. And I do want texture in this particular piece. And this is a small piece. This isn't going to take us forever this morning. I think that's why I was talking so much. It's like, I know we're going to kind of fly through this. And I do have a couple of things I must do this morning. So, and calls I must make. Hey, I've got things to do. Somebody said something about coffee. Hey, I gotta warm up my coffee in about 2 seconds. So yeah, when there is frigid cold weather day after day, you start to feel it more and more inside also. Okay. So, yeah, just a hot drink to keep you warm. Okay. So let me just take a look at this and show you the ridge. Do you see the ridge? Oh, the sun's coming in here. Let's see. Let's turn towards our birds. Maybe we'll turn more towards the birds here. The sun is really coming in, guys, which is good. Okay, so you see the ridge? I don't know if you can see it. Maybe this side. There. There you go. That's the ridge right here. Okay. So I feel like I need a couple of more rows of single crochet. I'm not going into double. I don't want double crochet on this today. I'm going to go right from single to treble, and we're going to do that shortly. So let me just do a chain at the end, turn, and so I got to tell you something. This is very interesting, by the way. Very interesting, and you can look it up. I was doing some research on the single crochet because I notice I wrap the yarn around and then loop up the yarn. And I went back to one of my little instruction books, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm supposed to put the hook in first, loop it up, then wrap it around. Guess what? Guess what? There is no correct way. It says if you wrap the yarn around, put it through, like I'm doing, wrapping the yarn around, put it through, loop it up. Or if you just put the hook through, wrap it around, loop it up. Whatever you're doing, just stay consistent. That's AI. And the reason AI is becoming such a go-to, seriously, I do not want AI to take over from the bloggers. The bloggers give unique information. I love, love, love the bloggers, especially your fiber, your crochet, all of them. Yeah, let's make sure we visit their sites. But the reason is it has the stitches, if you're inconsistent with wrapping it around or just going through first, it will cause havoc because it will look different. But I often wonder if I could do toggle it, and I'm going to try something like that. But it just says whichever method you are choosing, just stay to that, which makes perfect sense. Okay, now I feel like I might have a good little base here. See the little texture, the textured effect there. Okay, so I'm gonna change. I do want to do one more row. Yeah, I kind of wanted I'm thinking a couple of inches. That's what I'm thinking for this, for the base. And this is cotton yarn. And guess what? This is all I have of it. It's a nice, soft, medium weight cotton yarn. And it flows beautifully. But it's perfect for this project because the amount, the skein, you just don't get much. So it's perfect for a wall hanging. So I need to warm my coffee up. I will be right back. Do not go away. You can watch the finches. Can you see the finches? Watch the finches. I will be right back in 30 seconds. Okay, that should be close enough. Just get some hot coffee here. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for being with me this morning. So I'm going to take a sip of this. Oh, that is nice and hot. Okay. So we're going to continue. What I'm doing, for those of you who are scrolling, right now I'm doing several rows of my simple crochet because I want to get some effect of the ridge effect for texture, but most important, I want a base. I want a base for my Tunisian crochet. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comments and your positiveness. I really, really do, you know, and we're in a world now where I look at the news and it is so concerning and so sad. It is so concerning and so sad that I say, okay, what can I do for my viewers so they can come on to the channel and kind of forget the world for a few minutes and create. And this is what we do. And us artists are the ones that can communicate by creating and make other people smile and make them, you know, bring them to a better place. And have you ever, you know, just look at an art piece and smile? Look, I made this piece. I'm going to show you because it's going to make you smile. I made this piece the other day, and we'll continue crocheting. But I made this the other day. Does that just not make you smile? It's just the cutest darn little owl on earth. And I'm like, that made me smile, so I think I'm going to make more. It's just a very simple project that I'm making, again, for class. And for make and sell for my tables that I may get this summer. So this is going to be the last row of single crochet. So, but I thought that was super interesting about single crochet is because I noticed when I look at different YouTubers, some of them are like me. They're doing it different, or they're going back and forth, and you know. But it says, yeah, stay consistent. If you're going to wrap the yarn around like I'm doing, and then go through, pull up, pull through. That's not how it shows in the book how to do it. It just doesn't. Look at that though. Is that pretty? Those are your ridges. You see them now? Okay. So this will be a very nice base. Now I'm not measuring it to like, oh, it's got to be exactly 2 inches wide, or it has to be exactly, you know, 7 or 8 inches in length. No. I do want my ends even, but to do that, just do your chain and turn, especially when you're doing single crochet, half double crochet, or I believe with double crochet you can do that, or some patterns may call you to do chain 3. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to my Tunisian crochet hook. Okay, and so for Tunisian crochet, all you do is you go in the first, actually, I need to get rid of the particular chain. And I'm going to turn. So I'm going to bring this around and get out some yarn here. So Tunisian crochet is so easy. You know, have you ever heard that? Ever heard people say to other people, it's so simple that it's difficult? You know what I mean? That's kind of how this is. So I'm going to go in the first. You can do this 2 ways. You can go through, if I can show this, you can go through, you see your chain right there? You go through that part of it, or you can go through this part of it. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the top. And you pull up a loop. Go through your next top part of it, of your chain. Pull through a loop. Now, I want to get some length here. Because I used this crochet hook, it's not that much smaller, you see? If I used a really small one, I wouldn't be able to even get through with the larger. I probably could, but it would be difficult. So you want to consider that. Okay, so I could have done like a last row with the like in single crochet with the Tunisian crochet hook. So I'm just simply going through. Look what I'm doing. See how it starts to look like knitting? I'm just going through. I want to pull these up. I'm not doing any drop stitch right now or in the Tunisian, not right this second. And for me, I started to do drop stitch in knitting. I don't have them in front of me right now, but with my little knitting machines. What happened, and isn't this the funny thing? Invention seems to happen based on an accident or something you didn't mean to do. And that's exactly what happened. I started to drop stitches and I didn't want to do that. And I accidentally, when I did a panel, drop stitched with some drop stitches and I loved it. I'm like, oh my God. So I really do want to do a sweater with drop stitches. Now some of the manufacturers are adapting the ancient method of Boro Sashiko with the ripped look and creating the rips and this and that. And others are doing the same with the drop stitching. If it's fast fashion and they're not taking care of our earth, I don't want anything to do with it. If it's another artisan and they are doing this, then that does interest me. Now you start to hold the hook a little differently, and that's why you've got kind of this little handle. That's kind of like a little handle the finial is supposed to be. And that helps you hold it. But look, I'm just going through each stitch, pulling up a loop. That is all I am doing on this. Now they call this the forward pass. Okay? In other words, I like to call it the first pass. I don't know why they call it forward, but I like to call it the first pass because this is what you're doing the first part of your Tunisian. You see it? So you want to make sure you have the length at least comparable to each loop there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap around the first stitch and pull through the first stitch. That's all, just the first stitch. Now for the subsequent stitches, I'm simply pulling the loop through. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Pulling it through 2. No, I need to wrap around, I'm sorry. Yeah. Pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through 2. Whoops. You're just doing 2 at a time until you get to the end. Notice I did not turn this. I didn't turn it at all. I just simply started going back the other way, looping. And I almost forgot to wrap around that. That's the thing about this, is it's so ridiculously easy. You're like, you can add stitches to this, by the way. You can kind of make your own. I don't want to say, but if you're creative, you can do different things with the stitches as you're going along. And you'll figure that out. I'll share some ideas too as I go along. The thing is, whatever it is you end up doing, just be consistent. So I'm almost to the end. Now this is a wall piece, so it's not anything I'm making to wear. I want this to be creative. I want it to be different. I want it to look kind of like an ancient type of deal. Okay, so I'm at the end. Okay, now I'm going to go back through my stitches, and I'm just going to go through the stitches, pull up my loops, and I'm just going, you can see, let me just show you in a moment. You can see the stitches. You see how loopy they are? That's what I want. Now, and you do. You can get as much length to this as you want. Hi, Brent. How are you? We got Brent and Huggy. Hi, guys. Okay, I'm so happy you're here. So we're just looping up the yarn in each stitch. Now, there are variations to this, and the research I've done is you do absolutely have a choice on what stitch you want to go through and to loop it up, how you want to do that. I am going through the top row stitch. I have to have my coffee. Hold on one second. Oh, it's a good coffee. I am so happy to be able to do this. Now, let me explain something here. This particular piece, when it's done today, the angled part of it, I'm just giving away my little creative process, but that's okay. I want to, looking for my stitch here. I want to inspire you. So this will be mixed media art piece. And that's what I want to be able to share with my class this week. Now, I'll come back on and share the piece with you later this week and talk to you about how I made it. But you can see right here, this, and it's so simple, it's ridiculous. I say that because what you want to do is kind of, you know, do way more stitching instead of pulling up loops. That's all you're doing, not even in an intricate way. So now I'm going to wrap around and make my first just little chain loop there. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through 2. You're just pulling through 2 at a time. Now, you can get different size Tunisian hooks. It doesn't have to be, like, this is a really big one. I really could go for a smaller hook, to be honest. But yes, no, you need the length. You'll get the length, but you'll get a different hook size. Okay, so this is right here. I want to test something after I'm done here. Now with the Tunisian is not where I'm going on my angle. It will be with my treble stitch. Okay, because this is what I want in my Tunisian. Go through 2, yeah. You may have to, you know, separate, make sure you can see your loops. Pulling through 2, 2, 2, 2. Pick that up. I'm loving this. Let me just straighten it out a tiny, teeny bit here. I could almost do different colors, but I'm not going to do that. I want to see how it's looking for my... See, these are nice and loopy, like I could put the stick right through those right there. Or I could have those, maybe if I did go on an angle, but no, I'm loving this. This is fine. This is a cotton, a medium weight yarn, so it's more on the lighter side. So the other piece, oh, it's right here. Let me show you this. Let me just show you what happened to the other Tunisian piece we did together not too long ago. I put it into another, I did a little shibori effect on it and did a little needle felting on it. So I wanted it to come out, and that is what the shibori did. And I needle felt it, because this is 100% wool. This is Tunisian stitch. Okay, so there's that. Now, what I'm going to do is, just let me look at this for a moment. Yeah. Or, see, I might decide to hang it differently, but I'm thinking like that right now. Okay, so because this is not going to be a super large piece, what I'm going to do is a chain at the end. And now I'm going to go into a treble stitch. So I'm going to switch from my Tunisian crochet to a regular hook. And this is how you can do it. You can switch your stitches. And I'm going to wrap around twice. And I'm coming in the first space stitch, coming up, wrap around, bring it through 2 times, whoops, wrap around, bring it through 2 loops, wrap around, bring it through 1. This row, I'm going to do all trebles. The next, all trebles. The next row, I'm going to start angling it. So I might skip a treble or 2. I may go into a half double crochet. I may do single crochet. I'm going to mess around with it, okay? The reason why is I want it on an angle. So, but first I'm just going to go through each of my Tunisian stitch spaces. This is creative crochet. This is not a pattern of any kind. Okay. So I am just doing trebles right now. Trebles are not difficult. You wrap around twice, go through your next Tunisian space, bring it up, bring it around, go through 2, bring it around, go through 2, bring it around, go through. Wrap around twice, find your next Tunisian stitch, or whatever space you're using. Oh, that came off, so I've got to make sure that's wrapped. Bring it up, and you want to give it length when you're doing a treble. Give it a length. Whoops, it didn't pull through all the way. You want to make sure you pull through all the way. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. My next Tunisian space. It's hard to tell where they are because it's so loopy, and that's exactly what I want. I want this to be loopy. I want it to be, hold on a second, wrap around twice, find your space, go through, pull it up, give it your height, pull it through 2 times, wrap around, pull it through 2 times, wrap around, pull it through. Wrap around 2 times. Just remember with your treble, you begin with wrapping it around 2 times and then wrapping it around and going through 2 of your loops. That's what you're doing. That's treble. Okay, I just want to look at my piece because this is where it's going to start getting loopy and funky. Okay, there's some height to it there. Excuse me, sorry. I hope everyone's doing well out there. What crochet projects are you working on? Is anybody working on crochet projects? So what we're doing is the treble stitch. I am not doing any chains in between. I am going through my Tunisian stitch space. Treble is wrap around 2 times, go through your space, pull up, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. Done. Let's take a look at this quickly before we continue, because I got to unwrap this. Yeah, I like that. So this is so far. These are the Tunisian I love the Tunisian stitches on this. Okay, these are the trebles. You can't, we'll have to continue this row for you to see this clearly. So, because we got that loop there. Now, because I'm giving the trebles so much height, it kind of looks a little stringy, but that's okay. That's what I want for the wall piece. So for those of you just joining, we're doing our treble stitch. We're doing the first row like intact. And then the next row we're going to start kind of angling, which will mean drop stitching. And we could drop we could do a single crochet and then go to the treble. I like the drop stitch, so we're going to be drop stitching. And that just simply means dropping a stitch or more to get the effect you want. So these are our trebles, and we're almost to the end here. I'm thinking this is good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, so let me just leave that and just show you. Now, our chain and rows of single crochet give us a little definition. You see the lovely loopy kind of lacy effect going on there. So what I want with this piece, and this is going to be my nice the dowel, but I feel like I could put that dowel up on this side. We'll see. We'll see. Even like this. You know, so I'm just leaving open my options. So now we're going to do a chain to close this row of trebles, of even trebles. We're going to turn around. I'm not chaining 3, and I'm going to make a treble in the first space. Okay, and I'm going to make a treble in the second space, because I'm not starting my angle yet. I'll show you where we're going to begin it shortly in this row. I want it about midway of this row. Okay, so whoops, that turned into a knot. A lot of times we can catch these knots before they get really bad. We'll see if that's, there we go, we got it. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do about 4 more trebles, and then I'm going to start dropping the stitches. And I'm just loving this. This is work in process. Don't ever give up. If you have a vision of what you're doing, you got to keep working on it. It may not look like what you want it to look like in the middle of the work. And until you really have gone through the process of what you're thinking, you're not going to get the full effect of the piece. Okay. So let me just show you. So right here is where kind of I want some gaps here, kind of like, and there's a couple ways we can do this. We can do a couple of stitches and then do another treble, and that will give us a nice gap. Do a treble that is maybe with more tension, so it's a little shorter, or do a double crochet, do a single crochet, or simply we're dropping a stitch. So instead of going in the very next space, we'll go into this space and do a treble. That's going to give us a little more space. Okay, or we could drop 2 stitches and go in, and it will give us more. So I'm going to drop 2 right here. I'm going to drop 2, and I'm going to work on the tension a little bit. I'm going to pull it in a little bit. And because I want to go up on an angle, and I want to give it a gappy kind of a look. So let's see if we can get that effect. I'm going to turn this around here. And I'm just going to do that for this row And then before I figure out really what I'm doing for the next row, I'm going to take a look at it. And that's just your creative process. So I'm going to wrap around twice. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come over to my third space and I'm going to continue my treble. That's gappy. That's gappy right there. And the next down here, I'm going to just make a double crochet. In the next space, I'm going to make a single crochet. Next space, I'm going to make a single crochet. Next space, I'm going to do a treble. Am I going by a pattern? No, I am not. I am just deciding that I want to give it kind of an angular effect. So I'm giving it smaller stitches to bring it up in an obscure way. I don't want this. I want this to look like, is a lack of a better way to say it, I want it to look like, no, it's not a pattern. Yes, it was made a long time ago with an ancient method, and just out of maybe need or whatever. So let's see what this looks like. Let me just get a chain here so it doesn't come apart because it's super loopy. Yeah. It's going up on an angle. Now the other way you get an effect like this is actually bunching together a bunch of stitches, believe it or not, and then skipping. But okay, so I'm going to work the angle. Here's my angle. So here I'm just going to do a bunch of single crochets going over here. I'm thinking about what to do here. I may do a treble. I'm going to do a treble here and then bring it up. Yeah. Okay. So you see what I'm trying to do? I don't want it to be even. I want it to look obscure. So, with that said, when you get used to making things even, like your crochet, it is difficult. I'm not kidding you, to go back. I started out with hodgepodge. I was really good at stopping in the half rounds. Loved it. And then when I started different designs and techniques, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I want to do that full round. Okay, so I did 2 single crochets. Now the next stitch I'm doing a treble. I gave it a little tension. Next I'm going to do another treble, but I'm going to drop stitch. So I'm going over here. I'm skipping a stitch or 2. Yeah. And I'm going to do 2 trebles right there. I'm going to do 2. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do a set of 3 in this one space because I want to emphasize my drop stitch and I'm not feeling like I am. So I'm going to do single, chain, 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 chain. So I did about 4 or 5 chains, and I'm going to come over because that's another way to emphasize a drop stitch. And I'm going to do a treble over here. I feel like that's going to be a good effect, that I'm kind of, yeah, looking more for that. I'm going to do another treble. In the next space, and another treble in the next space. Just going to look at it. Okay. Okay, I get in my drop stitch effect, and now I want to angle it. And I'll show you this in a moment. I'm angling it with my single crochets. My drop stitch effect, I was remembering with my machine, what happens is the machine will chain, and then do the stitch, whatever it is you want. But, or the stitch, it's a knitting machine, it's a basic knitting stitch. But it will do chain, and then the stitch. So, yeah, I'm loving this. This is what I want. So let me just show you this in a moment. Now I'm doing a chain, I'm turning around, I'm going back, I'm doing just single crochet right now, okay? That's all I'm doing. And then we'll wrap up this creative process because I want to work on this off camera a little more in my creative process. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm going to do, okay, let me do this right now. Chain, 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 chain. Treble. Treble. Yeah. So let me hold this up. We're almost through this row. Do you see right here? There's your drop stitch. There's your gap. Well, this is going to be gorgeous. I can see what it is I'm trying to do. So, you see it? So what I'm going to do is emphasize my angle, and I'm going to bring this down. So I can do that effectively a couple of ways. I can go back, when I go back over here, just do single crochets. Do some chains and gaps and make some more gaps, but keep them smaller so they're still up on an angle. And then this, drop stitch this more, so this will come down. So that's where I'm heading, and I'm going to work on this more today. I have a few little appointments I have to follow up on today, this morning. So I hope that you love this. I hope it inspires you. This is, I don't know if I'm putting it this way or I'm going to put it this way, but anyway, we will have other videos where we just work Tunisian crochet. We're going to be doing Tunisian in the round because I kind of want to check it out for mandalas. So we'll be doing that soon. So with that, you have an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you for being with me. A love and light.